All right, we're recording. Awesome, you guys. Well, this is kicking off our July team meetings, and I'm really actually excited for this for myself, selfishly, because Joy is a rock star, and we're so honored that she gave her time to be able to talk with us, you guys, to kick off our theme for the month, which is inviting, right? And what a better time because we have the launch of Muscle Burns Fat and Muscle Burns Fat Advanced. So we know that that rolls out to coaches for enrollment on the 7th and then our customers on the 27th. So you guys, you've got to be inviting. And I know it's a scary, scary thing, but I think Joy's going to ease your mind and hopefully give you guys some tangible things to do because she's crushing it. So I want you guys to know a little bit about Joy, and I'll let her kind of take the reins on everything. Okay. But she's born and raised in California, but now she resides with her 2 sons in Dallas. So just outside of Dallas, of which she's on the Dallas Market Council. So if you guys don't know what Market Council is and you're interested in it once we get back to live events, they're awesome to be a part of as an active leadership, but also bringing your community of coaches together. I am a part of the Seattle Market Council, and it's been great to connect with local coaches, but also for my own business. But she was, before she was coaching, you guys, she started in 2014. So she just celebrated 6 years, which is huge. That just kind of shows the staying power of a business like this. But she was in leadership and curriculum consultant for a nonprofit organization, specializing in family ministry for churches across the globe, which, hello, we bring a little bit of that back into our lives, right? So her accolades, she's 8-star in her main business center and 1-star in her second business center. She, as her first year as a coach, you guys, hit Premier and has been elite for 4 years in a row now. So those are huge accomplishments, you guys. And if you're new, you might not really know what that means, so don't get caught up on it. But one thing that she made non-negotiable, and hopefully I'm not putting words in your mouth here, Joy, but Success Club 10, All-Star Legend. So she's been Success Club 10 for 72 months in a row. Hi. That's pretty badass. So I'm going to throw it over to you, Joy, if you don't mind. Just I want them to hear from you, and I'd love to hear personally some of your ninja tricks on inviting. So
yeah, totally. Taryn, can you enable screen sharing? And I think that's going to be helpful for everyone. I've got some stuff here to share with them.
Yeah. Can you share now?
Yes. Thank you. All right, guys. Well, I am honored to be here with you guys, and I'm excited about what we're going to talk about today. I'm trying to move y'all, but I cannot, so I'm just going to deal with that, and hopefully this will work. All right. So a little bit about our story. This is my family. I have a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old, so I'm a mom of adults. And we were supposed to be empty nesters this year, but everyone's moved back in. So we've got a while before that happens, I think. You know, I shared my story recently on the National Wake Up Call, but in case you haven't listened to that, I started as a coach on the heels of being diagnosed with breast cancer and going through a bilateral mastectomy and reconstruction surgery and feeling like an alien in my skin. And I had that moment in the closet that, you know, many people have, where I just hated everything that was in my closet, nothing fit. And I debated on trying to do some shopping therapy to just kind of like, you know, fix the situation with a whole new wardrobe. But honestly, I wasn't even excited about that because I didn't want to go shopping for larger sizes. And so I debated on just being super, like, maybe I should just be content. Maybe this is just life after breast cancer or life after 40. Maybe I just need to be focused on my kids. It's their time to shine in college, the whole thing. And I realized that was such flawed thinking that I had another choice, which was to fight for my healthy strong, which is thankfully what I decided to do. My husband, a year prior to my diagnosis, he also survived a near-death experience. He had severe atrial flutter. We had a ICU stay, and you know, the whole 9 yards. So we've gone through hell, and I will tell you, like, inviting can be super fun. I'm gonna hopefully give you a new perspective today that will change the way you feel about inviting, that it actually is something that is super fun. But we have a little saying on our team, or at least I do, that, you know, inviting is not cancer. It's not hard, right? Like cancer is hard, atrial flutter is hard. There's a lot of things that are hard. Inviting someone to come be a part of our coaching opportunity or the challenge group experience, y'all, that's not hard. That's a gift. So I just hope to give you a little extra confidence in doing that well today. So I do want to keep my story very short. You can go listen to the wake up call for like the longer version of it, but suffice it to say, I will give you this little snippet. I was that person who said no for 7 years to this opportunity. My mentor, Stephanie, invited me to be a coach when she first got started. I was on her like dream team list. And I was like, heck no, that ain't for me. And then 7 years later, I was like, hey, you know, that group you're running, I think I need to be a part of that. And then I kind of like, I don't know, like fell into the coaching thing. I signed up as a customer. I paid like the deluxe package. And then I, you know, because I didn't have Shakeology, I had to go buy Shakeology. And then because I didn't buy challenge pack and I had 3 friends who wanted to jump in, I had to like pay the coach application fee. So like I started as a coach, probably the most ridiculous way possible at the time. But I would do it all over again. I'm telling you right now, 6 years in, I would start from 0 because this will change your life if you allow it to. So anyway, we have a lot to cover today, so I'm just gonna get right to it. And if you want the longer version of my story, I was on the wake up call a couple weeks ago, and you can go listen to that. But you know, how many of you? I really want to make this more of a conversation today. So I don't even know why I'm like my mouse is not working. There we go. I'm gonna open up the chat because I really want to have a conversation with you guys more than like lecture at you, because I think it's going to be way more helpful. So like, does anyone feel like this is the #1 concern you had coming into being a coach? Like you just didn't want to be that salesy person, that creepy, slimy, like used car salesperson that everyone avoided? I mean, like somebody in the chat say, please, like a yes and amen or whatever. Like, is that your concern right now? Like, what is the biggest concern you have with inviting, right? It's like, it's that somebody is going to feel that your intentions are, you know, selfish, and that you're just in for a quick sale. You're not in to really help them. And so there's something that feels a little, or that you're selling them maybe a lemon, like they're not going to work it, or you know what I mean? Like there's just like all these preconceptions about what we do and not wanting to be that salesy person, right? They think it's scammy, right? So like you guys are in the chat saying yes, always, definitely, still now. Absolutely. We all have this kind of preconceived idea of what sales might feel like to the other person on the receiving end, because we've all had maybe that bad sales experience. Like, have you guys ever had a really horrible sales experience? Like, guys, we had 3 people come to our door yesterday for our roof. Like, just people who are in the neighborhood, like, hey, do you need your roof repaired? Like, we're in the neighborhood. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to you right now. Like, this is not a convenient time. Why are you knocking on my door? And I couldn't help but just think all yesterday, I'm like, this is exactly what everyone wants to avoid. Is like that person who's just knocking at your door. You don't want to talk to them. It's not convenient. And yeah, like it's just random. So, but I also want you guys to think about, like, when have you had a great sales experience? How did it make you feel? And I'd like at least one person, I'd like 2 brave souls to unmute yourselves and talk about like what does a great sales experience feel like to you? What's a part of that? For real. Somebody unmute.
I think the best sales experience is always when you feel like that person cares about you and the end result, not just the sale.
Yes, absolutely. That they care. What else, you guys? What does a great sales experience feel like?
I wrote it in the chat, but I was like, I really like it if they actually ask what my concerns are, what my needs are, and then actually provides what they can provide to meet those needs and or wants.
Absolutely. Like it's not just a robotic recommendation. It's something
Yeah, it's not a, you need this, this is what you exactly need. Like this will do everything for you.
Exactly.
Not that.
Exactly. Customized. What else?
You know, I actually appreciate it when salespeople ask me what's worked in the past and maybe what has not, depending on what it is, right? Obviously, if it's a pair of jeans, there might be like, well, what kind of pair do you like? I'm like, well, I don't like the ones where everything hangs over. But asking to like tailor it to my needs, and that's how I've been applying my invites when people are looking for results. I'm like, okay, well, what's worked in the past, and what hasn't, and then I take it from there.
I love that. Do we ever get angry at like a restaurant, a server at a restaurant who makes a recommendation for like an appetizer or a great dessert? Do we ever like feel offended by that? Why?
Because they're giving you options. They're giving you something to think about that they've tried or they think is good to try, really.
Right? They're trying to make your experience even better because have you ever like said, what's the best thing on the menu, right? Like what, and they tell you sincerely their recommendation, right? And they are trying to make the experience excellent for you because, you know, they want a great tip. They want you to return. Like that's just a part of great customer service. And we don't ever get offended that they're like, would you like dessert tonight? Right? How dare you ask me if I want dessert? Of course, like that's just a part of making the experience better. They're not shoving it down our throat, but they're telling us, man, there's this wonderful dessert on special tonight. It's delicious. Would you guys like to treat yourself? And you have that option of saying like, yes, I'm in the mood for that, or no, thank you. But I thank you for telling me about that, right? I've never been offended by someone asking if I would like coffee after dinner. So like, you know, a great sales experience, if you think about it, it's not that our fear is about being salesy. Our fear is really about not being excellent, right? Being that used car lot person that's just trying to move the vehicle off the lot, right? But what happens, because like we're like, I don't want to do sales. What happens when we come into this with that mentality of like, I don't want to do sales? What's our default, right? We like basically spam people. Hey girl, how you doing? Want to join my group? Hey girl, are you ready yet? Hey girl, got another group coming up. Hey girl. What did we just fall into? We just fell into the trap, right? So we didn't want to be, yep, hey girl spam. We didn't want to be that. That was our greatest fear. But because we're like, I don't want to be in sales. And we haven't really taken the time to learn what an excellent sales process should look like, we accidentally fall into being the thing that we feared the most. Isn't that interesting? That was my revelation this year. We, our team invited a business consultant. Her name is Tasha Smith. She has a book called Customer First that I highly recommend to everyone. And she came in and presented this new way of thinking. And I was like, oh my gosh, it just clicked, right? And so today I want to teach you what I've been doing this past year that has created less work for me. I'm doing less chasing through like social media messages, and I'm doing more relationship building. I'm having a higher conversion rate. So like, I don't have to talk to as many people to hit the same Success Club numbers because I've changed the process to be more excellent, right? More like that dining experience we want, that Disney level customer service, rather than the hey girl chase, right? So grace abounds. If you've been doing the hey girl chase, so did I. It's okay. But we do have an opportunity to maybe think differently and evolve. And so I'm hoping to bless you with that today, because it's been honestly, it's changed everything. I needed to find joy again in this business after doing what I was doing for 5 years. And this brought joy back in the process for me. So I want to teach you how to go from connect to close, right? Wouldn't you love that for your like close rate to just go through the roof and you're like so happy about it that you're not chasing people wondering like how you're going to hit Success Club? All right. So I don't know what you lead with. Maybe there is always a time, I believe, for a cold invite, right? When you're swinging for the fences and like you're inviting to a sneak peek and that person's on your dream team list. So I don't ever want to say that that's not okay, because I cold invite all the time. But for a majority of what I do, I spend a majority of my time simply connecting with people in my social circles. I do happy birthday messages a day early to, you know, just be the first one in their inbox to say happy birthday. I connect with people during COVID just to see how they're doing, kind of like a well check. I connect with people who have engaged on my social media, which is why it's so important for you to be consistent on your social media, by the way, because you can't connect with people if you're not posting. But let me ask you, like, what are some very simple, like 1 or 2 sentences that pop to mind? Like if you were just reaching out to me, what would you say? Somebody be brave.
Hey, honey, how you been?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, if I saw your picture, I would say something about your glasses and say, I need a pair.
I love it. Hey girl, where'd you get your glasses? Like I'm so in the market and I like them. That's great. What else? If you were just reaching out to somebody.
Come on, you guys.
I just, for my follow-ups after, because I'm tired of inviting the same people multiple times, even though I know that's a process, I just started reaching out and just asking, hey, honey, how you been? Because I have been like conversing a lot more. Really just seeing how you're doing. If there's something on their page, then I'll connect about that. You know, how's that working out, or how's that family member or whatever.
Yeah, I love it. You're looking for, I wanted to ask that because I'm about to give you kind of like a conversation guide. And what I do not want you to become is a copy paste robot, because that can be sniffed out real fast. I just want you to be you and connect with people and be a human being. If you saw your girlfriend in the grocery store, you'd be like, oh my gosh, hey, it's so good to see you, Monica. Like, oh, I haven't been around people much lately. Like, how are you? Are you going anywhere? Are you stuck at home and feeling crazy like me? You know, like you would just be yourself. So when you reach out to people, I want you to just be yourself. One of the ways that I connect with people, you know, like in a regular world, I might say, hey, like if I went to go look at what they're doing on social media, I'd be like, hey, like your profile popped up. I had to kind of like catch up on life and everything that's going on in your world. And I was a creeper. So I'm just going to own that for a hot minute. And I love the family photos. You know, it looks like you guys just went on vacation. Where were you? Were you in Destin? Like I would try to like ask a follow-up based on what I saw. Right now in the COVID climate, I am doing a lot of well checks. So I'm like, hey, you came to mind, you popped up in my feed, or I saw your post or whatever. I saw you were watching my stories. I thought I would just reach out and say hello. Like, how are you feeling with everything that's going on? Isn't that honoring, right? Like with everything going on in the world right now, to ask someone like, how are you feeling right now? That's so honoring. And it brings down the defenses, right? Because now you're not, and sincerely, I don't have an agenda when I reach out and talk to people. I am doing a well check. If it evolves to an invite, awesome. If it doesn't, awesome. You know, because I have a lot of coaches who will be like, oh, but you know, I feel bad because I really had the intention of inviting them. No, you are leading with love. There's a difference. You are leading with love and you're looking to add value. And that is how you're leading versus, hey girl, want to join my group? Thought I'd just invite you. Got another one today, right? that, you don't know if grandma's like on life support right now. So maybe we should just pause for one hot second and say, hey, how are you feeling? How are you doing? Anything I can pray about for you, right? That opens up the door to lead with love because you're focused on the person, not on your goals. So then we used to teach this so much back in the day when I first started coaching, and I really feel like we probably need to get back to it a little bit. So there's an acronym that we use to protect ourselves from ourselves. Again, like Tasha has this kind of like mantra where it's like customer first, team second, ego third, right? So if I'm leading with my ego, I'm like getting to the punch. I'm trying to make the sale. I got deadlines. I got goals, right? Like I'm leading with like my agenda versus if you are leading with customer first, you are leading with them in mind, right? So there are some things, because I know it's kind of nerve-wracking, like, oh my gosh, they replied, now what? Do I just go straight to the invite, or do I like, what do I do? You can actually be a human being and have a conversation. So FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, and then M stands for your message, which is pretty much the invite. So FORM just helps you not like jump the gun and lead with ego. FORM just helps you back up a minute and catch up in the world, right? So this is a great way if you get stuck, like sometimes even in those in-person conversations when you're meeting a new person, you're like, shoot, man, I feel like, what do I say? Like, how do I get this conversation going? Just think about FORM. You can ask about their family. You can ask about, how are they enjoying working from home? You know what that question leads you to? Do they have a job still? Like, how are you enjoying working from home? Well, I was laid off. Okay, so that probably is not going to be a great invite to come join you in something that costs money, right? Like you might want to give them a free resource, like here are all of our free workouts. You might want to lead with love and like add value to where they're at. So in this current COVID climate, there is, if you just stop for a minute and ask them some questions about family, their occupation, like are they doing anything fun? That is going to open the door for you to invite them either to your group experience or to the coaching opportunity. Today, we are going to focus on inviting them to the group experience, the challenge group, okay? So step 3 is transitioning to the invite. Now, I think about conversations like a tennis match where the ball is going back and forth, right? Like you say hello and they ask a question back and you ask a question, right? So on the pass, the third pass, when you're like hitting the ball back to them for the third time, that's when you take ownership and direction as the leader of the conversation, as long as it's appropriate. They haven't lost their job. They're not in emotional crisis, right? Like there's a lot of other things that we just filter through our conversation. But as long as like they are in a good place and seem to be open, then you can transition the conversation to the invite. Simply by saying, hey, on another note, hey, I know it's a little out of the blue, but hey, I have no idea if this would interest you, but, right? We have a group ramping up this month focused on fitness and not eating all the snacks. Ha ha ha. Would you possibly want to join us? Now, notice I didn't say like, I'm not personally leading with like, oh, we've got this new boxing workout or, oh, we have this new whatever workout, because they may not care necessarily about muscle burns fat. What they do care about right now is not putting on 19 pounds because they've been eating all the snacks at home, right? So I'm trying to like solve a problem for them, not pigeonhole them into a solution, right? And that's a really important thing, because you don't want to like necessarily invite someone to, crush it in fitness and do 20,000 burpees every week if they're more of a to-be mindset kind of person. They hate exercise and it's overwhelming. Like you want to kind of leave that door open to them focus on that person rather than the thing that you want them to purchase. Does that make sense? So I always try to make light and I'm a snarky person. So, I always kind of include something like, hey, if we're going to be stuck in this, we might as well have vacation ready bods, to go to Cabo or something. So, that's just the way I lead into an invite. But again, like on the third pass. Now, This is where things get really, really different. So up to now, it may feel a little familiar to you, but this is where things get very different. So if my girlfriend's like, oh my gosh, like I have to do something, like this is ridiculous. I was just thinking, I'm so glad that you like said something, because I just got on the scale yesterday and put on 19 pounds. Then this is where I do not deviate from the script. And I suggest you do not either. There are certain parts that you need to be a human being and listen more than you know, just like copy paste. This is a copy paste moment right here. Okay. Awesome. What I usually do is set up a time to chat. We'll go over your health goals, a little bit about Beachbody, and the most popular packages. My part will take about 30 minutes. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, I'll help you get started and order it. Is that something you are open to? Pause. Someone unmute and tell me, like, how does that feel? Why does that feel like a better, more honoring way to invite someone?
So I don't know, can you guys see me? To me, it sounds like a better way to invite, just because there's no pressure. You know, you're not like, and you're also putting them in charge of the solution. Like, we're gonna see what works best for you, not like, here's the package I'm selling this month, you know, so.
Exactly. You're putting control, and this is what we all want. You're putting control in their hands. You're taking off the pressure of like, hey, you don't have to buy anything, right? But if you see something that you like, I'm going to help you get started with it. So that's like no pressure, right? And it puts the focus back on the customer first, not the ego, right? So they're 9 times out of 10, unless they're like, I don't want to get on the phone, because there are those personalities. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so open to that. So then what you're going to do, and I have all of these steps written out for you, so just know I'm going to give you a document with all this stuff. But then what I do is I offer 2 appointments, right? Notice I don't say, what does your schedule look like? That's so confused. That's like so ambiguous to a person. Like, again, we are in a time of life where life is very overwhelming for people. They need to be given 2 options, and then they can choose, right? That takes less thinking. If you're like, what does your week look like? I'm like, oh my gosh, my week is so insane right now. Like, I have, you know, this thing going on Monday. So I start running through like all of my busy. But if you give me 2 options, now I can be like, I don't know, am I open on those? Oh, I am open on that time. Okay, I can do Wednesday at 1 or Wednesday at 10, right? So saying open to instead of interested is better. Exactly. Because they don't feel like they're committed. Exactly, Jamie. Honestly, you guys, it's so golden. So give them.
I actually stopped saying interested in. I actually started saying, do you want more info, or are you open to that, or something like that, instead of are you interested? Because then when people are like, are they interested? They're like, well, I feel like I'm committed now. I feel like I have to do this. Like, then I feel like that turns people away, instead of just saying like, do you want more info? And then they're like, sure, I'll take more info. And then that just leads to more conversations. I feel like I started doing that a couple months ago, and it's like been so good.
Yeah, you just want to take the pressure off. Your goal is to like have a conversation with them, period. And if you can solve one of their problems, it will close. If you have no problems to solve, then they're not going to buy. So part of this is making the buying process easier, right? Like, everyone wants to lose weight, they want to get into better shape. So that's our job, to make the purchase process easier for them. Okay. So step 4, they're like, Wednesday at 10. Cool. All right. I got you down. Now I collect their email. Why? Because we're always building our email list, ladies. So you want to build your email list so that over time, if you need to do like email marketing or whatever, or if Beachbody were to shut down or whatever, right? Like, you want to build an email list. So I always ask, like, hey, what email can I use to send the calendar appointment and my Zoom link? Now I've kind of like set the standard. Oh, we're going to Zoom. Okay. We're not going to get on the phone. I'm going to like Zoom. I'm going to see you eyeball to eyeball. And so they give me their email and I send them a calendar request with my Zoom link. And then notice I'm breaking it down into little baby steps, right? I'm not going to be like, hey, give me your email and can you fill this out? And then I'll let you know, this is what, I'm not trying to overwhelm them. I'm just giving them one little step. So after I send them the calendar link, I said, would you be able to fill out the short questionnaire before our call? Okay. It helps me know your goals and preferences so that I can tailor our time to you, right? So it should take you less than 5 minutes. And I give them a link. And 9 times out of 10, I mean, I do have people who forget or they just don't do it. They will fill this out. Now the form, I also have a link for you so you can make your own. But the form is life because it's going to do all of the heavy lifting for the questions. Hey, like, and notice, I even asked them, are you willing to invest in a fitness or nutrition program so that I may coach you toward achieving your goals? Like our programs range anywhere from $39 a quarter to discounted bundles that are $160 to $220, depending on what your needs are. I'm qualifying them, you all, because how much time am I going to spend with someone who's like, no, no, I'm not willing to buy anything. All right, well then, like, let's talk about free resources. I'll spend like half my time, you know, and I'll develop a relationship or whatever. But you want to qualify your leads because your time is valuable. But I'm also going to ask them all sorts of questions that are going to help me create a couple of options going into the call to talk to them about, okay? Because let's be real, our library is overwhelming, right? So I asked them, you know, hey, which nutrition group do you see yourself in? Do you have brain fog, irritability, sluggishness, or cravings? Like those are all signs of a nutrient deficiency that Shakeology is going to solve. So that opens up the doorway to talk to them about Shakeology. And so I'm going to also ask them like, hey, are you interested in a wholesale membership where you can, you know, save 25% on your future purchases? Are you interested in getting your product for free through our referral program? So now I have an idea, right? And I also ask them like, do you want collagen or snack bars or mom crack energize? You know, like I do a survey so that I have a full picture of things that they might be interested in so that I can tailor our conversation. So some people are always going to buy everything. This is purchase personalities, right? Some people are always going to buy like the bare minimum. So when you do a questionnaire like this, now you kind of get an idea of their purchase personality. Because if they're going through your thing, they're like, yeah, I want bars. I need a 3-day refresh. Give me that energized stuff. And sure, the Shakeology. Well, now you know they're probably leaning more toward like, you know, the bigger, maybe deluxe bundle. If they're like, no, 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 no. Well, now you know they're probably leaning more toward like, just give me the bare minimum. Does that make sense? So that questionnaire has been life. I really recommend it. So then you guys, please get on Zoom calls, not phone. Get on a Zoom call. Yes, you will sweat profusely your first couple of Zoom calls. I did. I was so nervous. But now they are my very favorite things to do, except for the fact that I have to sit the whole time. I'd rather be walking, but that's okay. I'll do it. So in our Zoom call, we are going to kick things off after we say hello by recapping our agenda. Why do we do that? Because we just want to remind them that there's no pressure here and that this is all about their goals, right? So like I mentioned earlier, we're going to go over your health goals today, a little bit about Beachbody and Shakeology and our most popular packs. My part's going to take about 30 minutes. Now, their part could take 45 if they're long-winded. You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, I can help you order it today. Now, why is that statement so very important, what I just said? You don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, I'll help you order it today. Unmute.
It puts that like positive pressure on them.
When I ask them, how does that sound? They're like, it sounds great. What did they just commit to?
Ordering.
When?
Today.
Today. Would you like people to order as soon as you put the share cart together instead of following up 10 gazillion times?
Absolutely.
That's what this does. Believe it or not. It's so amazing. So yeah, you don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, I'm going to help you order today. How does that sound? Okay, this part of the call, I would like a volunteer. Who would like to be one volunteer? I just need a brave soul.
Okay,
Who's speaking?
I'm Delane.
Delane! I love you for volunteering. All right, Delane, you're going to be my guinea pig.
Yay.
Okay, you are the prospect. I am the coach. We just said, so like I mentioned earlier, we're going to go over your health goals today, a little bit about Beachbody and Shakeology, and a couple of the most popular packs to get started. My part's going to take about 30 minutes. You don't have to buy anything today, but if you see something you like, I will help you order it today and get plugged in. How does that sound, Elaine?
That sounds great. Let's do this.
Let's do it. So what do you want to make sure we go over today?
What is actually available to me and how it's going to benefit me.
Okay, cool. I can do that. So, Delane, I really appreciate you filling out that questionnaire. It was so very helpful. I would love to just chat through your goals a little bit because I don't know why I can't see you, Delane, but that's like bothering me. I'm trying to find you right now. Where are you? Oh, you don't have your video on. Makes me sad. Okay, but we're going to talk a little bit about your goals because I find people like say so much more when they're talking about it than what they can write on a form. So I want you to tell me about your current health and fitness goals for you and your family.
So I would like to get them out of the house more, but it's mainly just me. I'm trying to lose another 15 pounds, but it's not really just about weight. I'm looking to just feel good, and I would really like to get back in the jeans I used to have.
I can live that.
Nutrition-wise, I think we do pretty well, but I'd really like to take out, it's hard to take out all the processed food, especially for the children. I am getting better at it.
Awesome. What else?
I don't really give them vitamins, so I think they definitely need more nutrients based meals. I think I come across a lot of problem with like introducing new meals with them. So I love and would love and appreciate recipes.
What else?
That's about it.
Awesome. Okay, do you guys see how like I kept asking what else until she finally said everything she had to say? That's really, really important. So I didn't offer any commentary about like, yeah, my kids are picky eaters too, or relate back. And that's really hard, by the way, because we've all been conditioned, I think, as women to kind of relate back of like, oh, me too. I have that problem too. I go out to eat all the time, right? You just take notes and you ask, what else, until everything is said. Delane, thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay. Dad, hey, Delane, before you go, how did that feel?
I felt like you were actually listening, and being on the Zoom, I would have obviously noticed that you're taking notes. That's not something that is actually endearing work, because like the person actually sees and or thinks or gets the feeling of you are caring and actually listening to their words. So that was pretty nice.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So then I can recap, right? After you've said it all, I can be like, okay, so we want to lose another 15 pounds and get back into the jeans, looking for some healthy recipes because we have some picky eaters and that we've been picking up a lot of processed food, probably a lot of takeout. And, you know, they would be like, yeah, all of the things, right? So then my next question to you, Delane, and you can stay unmuted, I would be like, okay, so I do have a couple ideas, but tell me, what do you already know about Shakeology and or Beachbody? And it's okay if you don't know anything.
That sounds pretty good too, because it's definitely opening up to them to say yes. They'll tell you what they know, and if they don't, then it opens the door for you to fill them with the good information.
Right? So like what typically happens is someone will say, I know my friend used to drink that shake, but I've never tried it. Or, I mean, I have a copy of P90X up in my attic somewhere. So it just kind of gives you context about what you may already know. And then you can solve their problem. Okay. This is the next part of what we do. So it does not, you don't have to be an expert here. What you have to do is be a good listener, because in Delaine's situation, I would be like, well, earlier you said you've really been picking up a lot of processed food and eating out a lot. So that's what Shakeology is for. It is that really quick fix that you can feel so good about, because like it's the nutritional equivalent of 5 trips to the salad bar, but like it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So it's like whole food that you can just grab and go. So for me, it's kept me out of the fast food line, because I've been able to blend it up, put it in my car, and get off to my kids' things. Or you can say like, have you ever been in a situation where you've been running to a soccer game and didn't have time to eat? And every single mom will be like, yes. Well, Shakeology is going to keep you out of the drive-thru. Or have you ever found yourself so hangry because you skipped lunch that you like started yelling at your kids while you were making dinner? Like Godzilla mom just came out. Yes. Shakeology is going to help you not lose it, because you can just grab it and, go, and it's going to prevent that hangry monster from showing up. So it's actually going to make you a nicer person. And they're going to be like, yes. Right. Or another way that you can approach solving a problem is like, you may not use this every day, but you'll be glad you have it when. So like someone who goes to Camp Gladiator, let's say, right? And they love their Camp Gladiator. So you're talking about Beachbody On Demand, and you're like, with Beachbody On Demand, you have access to all of these amazing workouts, and you might not use it every day, but you're sure going to be glad when you have it, because it's that quick solution you can do at home when you can't get to the gym or your Camp Gladiator class. It's the thing that you can travel with, because you can download it and take it with you on your phone, right? And so, or Shakeology even, you might not use this every day, but you're going to be so glad when you're running to your kids' practice and you don't have time to eat. So those are 3 lead-ins to solve their problem that shows you were listening. Earlier you mentioned, right? That's approach number 1. Approach number 2 is, have you ever, so give them a scenario that they will relate to. Or the third approach is, you might not use this every day, but you'll be glad you have it when. Now, is that more effective than telling them all the ingredients in Shakeology and why it's the best thing ever?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're relating to them. You are literally fulfilling what they need and what they've given you.
Yes, you're not selling, you're solving their
Yeah.
problem. It's like you're stepping into their actual life. You're like telling them how you are going to make their life better. And that's all they care about. Okay. So you do not have to do all 3 approaches. You can just choose one, but these are like a very effective way for you to communicate how what you are about to talk about is going to change their life for the better. What I then do is, depending on what we've talked about, and I will say 90% of the people I talk to are 2B mindset people, because remember I asked them group A, group B. I will show them a third-party tool. I'm like, hey, let me show you something real quick. This is Alana. She's a registered dietitian nutritionist. She has a private practice in Beverly Hills. And you know what? She's lost 100 pounds herself. She explains this program so much better than I did. So I know this is a little hokey, but we're just going to watch this little video together. And at the end, I'm going to ask you what you liked most about what you heard. How does that sound? Sounds great. So I literally sit here, drink my water, and press play. I do not have to be an expert. I have a third-party tool. If I need to show them Beachbody On Demand, I have tons of like videos, like the Strong Moms video, or, this is BOD video, or whatever, to like paint a scenario of what it looks like to have a community and a group at home. I can take them, I can screen share on Zoom, and I can show them, this is our Beachbody On Demand. It's like, look at all the workouts you get. And they're like, dang. I can even screen share like my community group. And you know what? In addition, like, I just want to show you, this is our community group. Like, look at all these people. It's every age and stage, from single 20-somethings to grandmas that are killing it. And that is so crazy inspiring. So like, in this step of the call, I'm either showing them a third-party tool or I'm taking them on a little tour. But because I'm on Zoom, I can do that. We're visual, auditory people, right? So if I'm on a phone call, I can't do this step, and it's so much harder, right? But now I show the 2B mindset video and they're like, oh my gosh, I love that I don't have to like count calories. I love that I don't have to like cut anything out of my, I love that it's just easy. And I'm like, I know, right? It's like food freedom, best thing ever. Like, I'm not selling anything. I'm just showing them how amazing this is, right? So then I'm like, all right, I know, it's amazing. So let me show you a couple options. And I will then screen share cart. I already have their email information from the form. I already know if they want the discount. And so I put together, guess how many? 2 options. Why? Because you want to give them 2 options. If you give them 1 option, now they say yes or no. Hey, what do you think about this? This is great, right? Yes or no? No. Awesome. If you give them 2 options, then you're like, what works best for you and your family, A or B? And they're like, golly, like B is a no-brainer, or A is awesome, right? And so I've taken yes or no out of the conversation. Do you see how brilliant that is? So anyway, I always like will put together, and I'll build the cart right in front of them. And I'll be like, oh, I think I can get it cheaper this way because we signed up for the discount. Let's see what it, you know, when I add it to the cart, like, oh yeah, I think, you know, if I do the basic Beachbody on demand and I add To Be Mindset, like they're going to do it cheaper than if I do this package over here. So let me just play with it for a minute. Okay. So this is what I would call option 1, because you wanted beach bars, To Be Mindset. This will give you access to workouts and 30 days of Shakeology, right? But if you want a different option, we take out these other things and we can go with the basic challenge pack. And so that's 160. So your option A is 222, option B is 160, which is best for you and your family, A or B? And they will tell you. And some personalities will always buy the big bundle, and some personalities are always going to buy the little bundle, right? And even if they buy the little bundle, you can still say, this is excellent. Now, I know you wanted beach bars. Do you want me to add those to the cart just to see like what that total would be? Or are you good with it the way it is? Okay. Again, you're just saying like, would you like dessert with that? Okay. So they're like, option A. And you're like, cool, let me send you the link right now. Boom. I copy it. I text it to them. Now, this is the most critical part to get them to finish their order in the next 24 hours. Book a meeting from a meeting. Okay, so, okay, awesome, I'm sending this to you right now. I click it, they've seen it that it sends off. You're gonna get an email, but I'll also send you the link. So when you finish your enrollment today, I'm gonna send you an email with some baby steps, like that's my little welcome email. I'm going to send you an email with some baby steps to take while you wait for your package and get you connected to our community group. But let's schedule our time to walk through your first 30 days together this next week. So I have time on Wednesday at 1 or Thursday at 10, like what works best for you. So now they have a meeting set up to where they know that they are going to walk through everything and not feel overwhelmed. They're going to have a plan. So they are more likely to finish their enrollment. Why? Because now they have a deadline with you to walk through their program. Okay. All of this that we just talked about is on this bit.ly link that I will make sure your leaders have.
What's in there?
Huh? I don't know. I think that was
Oh,
like.
sorry.
That's all right.
My bad. I was talking to my son.
That's all right. You can mute yourself, Jamie. It's cool. All right. So that is what I have been doing this year. That has been a game changer for us. So I hope that there's some nuggets of wisdom there for you. But
Lots of them. Thank you.
any questions?
I have a question. I am driving, but so what if they're like, I can't hop on a Zoom call or something like that?
Excellent question. So then what I will tell to them is say, would it be easier for me to send you a couple of recommendations? And if they say, yeah, that's so much easier because I just can't get on a call right now. My life's too crazy. I still will ask them to fill out the form. And then I will build 2 options for them based on what they said in the form. So you can actually build 2 share carts and you can link to them in an email.
Okay. And then one other thing. So what if you have someone who is like constantly
like every post, like in your posts, like messaging you when they like your videos, and they're messaging you like, I need to do that. And so you send them a share card every month, and you give them a deadline every month, and then they never finish. But then they message you again, they're like, I really need to do that. So would you think that I should just set up a Zoom call with this girl? Because like, it's been like 2 months, and she's like, I need to do that. Oh my God, I love your results. Oh my God, you look so good. I can't fit my clothes. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And then she'll be like, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then she doesn't do it.
Yep, I would just shift your verbiage right now. Like what this does is it increases what I call your posture. It ups your professionalism, because you're like, what I normally do is set up an appointment. We'll talk through your goals, a couple of options, and you don't have to buy anything, but if you see something you like, I'll help you get started right away. How does that sound? So basically it puts you back in the driver's seat, instead of them being like, oh, I need it. And you're like, well, here, you know? So I would just, you know, and if this is not normally what you're doing because you're just starting, you can say like what I just started to do, or, you know, what I'm doing now with my new potential clients is, but you can still say what I normally do, even if it's the first time.
I was also going to share with you guys, if you guys are looking for the book, it's called Customer First. You can go get it on Amazon. It'll be here on Tuesday. Tasha Smith. So if you guys need PD, or, you know, we'll have all these amazing slides. Joy, you're incredible for putting this all together for us. But we'll have that for you guys to go back and review the slides. But I would get the book if you know you need to reapproach your strategy and how you're talking to your prospects.
I think, you know, regardless of whether you're ready to get on a Zoom call or not, there's some universal principles that will be game changers for you. One is offering 2 choices, always. And the other is trying to book a meeting from a meeting. If you can continue to, you know, have that follow-up appointment, the conversation will be more likely to close. All right, you guys. Well, I got it all said in just barely under an hour, so yay.
Well, again, we are so grateful, and I'm speaking on behalf of Rachel as well, because her team and my team are on here, and she is listening at the side of a pool. So you guys, just one of the perks of building your business is you can do it alongside of a pool on vacation. So the rest of us that are stuck at home, we can live vicariously through her, okay? But Joy, thank you again so much for your time, you guys. So here is your call to action. You need to, start making appointments, okay? Well, first, go get the book, right? Go get the book and review the slides and get into action by making these appointments like Joy said. It'll change the way your confidence level is in inviting. And she hit the nail on the head at the very beginning of the call when she said, I hope I can change your confidence in the invitation process, because now you almost giving yourself permission to share with them instead of sell, because you're collecting their information based on a conversation you're having. So there's a link that she just popped up in the comments. You guys, I'll leave the comment up for a second, but I'll also have it, we'll have it in our respective team pages. I want to let everybody go because I know you guys have 800 million things that you need to be doing. But again, Joy, we have so much gratitude and appreciation for you sharing your time. You guys make sure you have this call on your calendar. Try and make it, I know some of you have jobs and can't make it if you're watching the recording, but make it a requirement to watch this and take the action steps to move your business forward. We're not on here just to say and do, like we have to actually get the action going. All right? Okay, you guys, Joy, thank you. Have an awesome 4th of July, everybody, and we'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye.